Hi everyone, my name is Paula. Today we're going to do a beginner's yoga class with Backbends. So we're going to start by doing some breath work or breathing exercises. We're going to start by doing or listening to some sound therapy or healing. So we're going to start the breathing exercises by breathing in from our nose, inhaling as deeply as we can. We're gonna hold it at the top of our lungs for a few seconds and slowly exhale and emptying out all your lungs. And you're gonna feel your empty lungs for a few seconds, and then we're gonna keep repeating the same cycle. You can keep your eyes open or closed. You can do whatever you want. Let's begin by inhaling from our nose. Hold it at the top of your lungs. Slowly exhale. Hold your empty lungs. Inhale once again. Hold it at the top of your lungs. Slowly empty out your lungs. Exhaling. Fill your empty lungs for a second. Once again, inhale as deeply as you can. Hold it at the top of your lungs and slowly exhale. Hold your empty lungs. Once again, let's repeat. Inhaling. Hold it at the top of your lungs. Exhale as deeply as you can. Hold your empty lungs. For the last time, we're gonna inhale. Hold it at the top of your lungs. Exhale as deeply as you can. Hold your empty lungs. Once again, we're gonna take a big inhale and slowly exhale, releasing all the air from your lungs. One more time, we're gonna inhale and slowly exhale as deeply as you can. Okay, we're gonna come back to a regular breathing. So, we're gonna start today's practice with a few sun salutations. We're gonna shift ourselves towards the front of the mat. So if we're in a standing position right now, basically we're going to shift ourselves towards the front. So we're in line with the mat. If you're having your legs crossed, walk your hands towards the front of the mat or in front of your body. Push your knees towards the mat and then untangle your legs behind you. Your toes are gonna be tucked into the mat. Inhale, lift up your knees. You're here in Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Slowly Bring your arms towards the top and bring your hands to heart center. So we're gonna start here in a standing position in the front of the mat. Bringing your hands to heart center here in Samastiti. Inhale, bring your arms up to the sky to mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale, slowly bring your hands down. Extend your legs as much as possible. Bring your head down. Bring your hands down to the mat if possible. If not, just grab your elbows with your opposite hands and bring yourself into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale, extend your back, bring your hands towards the shin of your legs or on top of your knees. Look forward to Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, bring your hands down towards the mat. You're gonna bring your legs back. You're gonna bring your knees back if you need the help. If not, just come to Chaturanga Dandasana, lower plank. Inhale, come to Uddha Mukha Savasana, upward facing dog. We're gonna bring your shoulders back and make sure our hips are off the ground. If not, we can just do Bhujangasana. Exhale, come to Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So we're gonna make sure we take big inhales and big exhales. We can pedal our feet from side to side, bringing the heels of our foot down onto the mat. We have 3 more. We're gonna make sure our feet are hip width apart and our hands are shoulder width apart. And then we have our last breath here. Walk your feet towards the front of the mat. You can bend your knees if it feels accessible for you today. We're going to inhale, look forward, bring your hands to the shin of your legs. Extend your back to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bring your hands down, extend your legs. Try to come here to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale, we're going to lift up all the way up to the sky with our hands up into Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale to Samastiti. Okay, we're going to do this long salutation one more time and then we're going to move forward. Inhale, bring your hands to your heart center. We're still in this inhale. We're going to look up, bring your arms up to the sky to Tadasana or mountain pose. Exhale, lower yourself down to Uttanasana, standing forward fold, making sure your legs are extended here as much as possible. You can also grab your opposite elbows with your hands. We're gonna now inhale, look forward to Ardha Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Exhale, bring your hands down, bring your legs back. You can bring your knees down to Chaturanga Dandasana, lower plank. Inhale, bring your shoulders back, lift up your back of the mat and your hips too as well to Uddha Mukha Savasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, lift up your knees off the mat, extend your back. You can look at your knees or the mat. We're going to make sure our hands are shoulder width apart, our hips are hip width apart. We're gonna extend our back as much as possible. We're going to do 4 more breaths here. We're gonna take big inhales and big exhales. We're gonna concentrate on our breathing and how our body's feeling. We have 2 more. Okay, Now we're going to walk our feet towards the front of the mat. You can bend your knees as well. Inhale, bring your hands towards the shin of your legs or on top of your knees. Come to Ardha Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Exhale, bring your hands down. Come to standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up to Tadasana and exhale to Samasthiti. Okay, now we're gonna do some salutation B. So it's very similar. We're gonna standing here. We're gonna start standing here at the front of the mat. We're gonna start with our hands in Samasthiti, bringing our feet right next to each other. Inhale, bend your knees, bring your arms up to the sky to Utkatasana. Exhale, extend your legs, bring your hands down, lower your head down, or you can grab your opposite elbows into standing forward fold. Inhale, come to Ardha Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Exhale, bring your hands down, bring your legs back. You can also bring your knees down, bend your elbows, and come to lower plank. Inhale, we're gonna lift up our back of the mat, bring our shoulders back. You can stay here in Bhujangasana, Cobra, if it feels more accessible for you today, or you feel free to come to the full Uddha Mukha Savasana, upward facing dog, by lifting your hips off the mat. We're gonna exhale, we're gonna lift up our knees off the ground and extend our back and arms while looking at our knees or mat. Extend your legs as much as possible. We're gonna stay here for one big breath. We're gonna lift up our right leg and extend it as much as possible to come to a 3-leg downward dog for a quick second. Bring our leg or foot towards the front of the mat, right next to your right hand. Slowly, we're gonna adjust our back foot, making sure it's diagonal to our body. Bending your front knee. Inhale, lift up your arms up the mat and come to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Making sure your hips are square towards the front. Exhale, circle your hands down. Bring your leg back. You can bring your knees down and come to Chaturanga Dandasana, lower plank. Inhale, come to Uddha Mukha Savasana or Bhujangasana, Cobra or Upward Dog. Exhale, we're gonna come down to Adho Mukha Savasana, Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, we're gonna lift up our leg off the mat and come to a 3-leg Downward Dog, extending our leg as much as possible by keeping our hips square towards the front. We're gonna bring our feet right next to our foot right next to our left hand, making sure our foot is diagonal to our body. Bend your front knee. Inhale, lift up your arms off the mat and come to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. You're gonna square your hips towards the front. Exhale, circle your arms down towards the mat. Bring your leg back, sorry. Bend your elbows. You can also bring your knees down towards the mat and come to Chaturanga Dandasana, lower plank. Slowly inhale, push off your shoulders off the mat and your back as well. We're gonna come to upward facing dog. Exhale, come to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. We're gonna stay here for 5 big breaths. Always, if you need to take a breath, feel more than welcome to come to Balasana. If you need to just you know, take a moment for yourself. If the practice is a little bit too fast paced, or you just need to, come to this pose, you're always more than welcome to. So we're gonna stay here for 3 more breaths, inhaling as much as possible. If we're in Malasana, we're gonna make sure our arms are as forward as possible, or in front of us as much as we can. We're gonna sit on our hip bones or sit bones or in our hips. So we're gonna now have one more inhale. We're gonna come to downward dog. Walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Inhale, you're going to come to Ardha Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Keeping your legs extended, back extended as well. Exhale, slowly you're gonna come down, bringing your head as closer as possible to your knees. You can bring your you can bring your hands towards the mat. We're gonna now bring our feet right next to each other. Bend our knees. Inhale, lift up our chest off the mat and arms up to the sky. And we're gonna now exhale to Samastiti. Okay, so we're gonna do the sun salutation one more time, and we're going to begin with our back bends and sequence that we have planned for today. Inhale, we're gonna start in Samastiti. Bend your knees, come to Utkatasana. Exhale, fall down to standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, bring your hands to the shin of your legs. Look forward, come to half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bring your hands down, bring your legs back, come to Chaturanga Dandasana, lower plank. Inhale, come to Uddha Mukha Savasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, come to Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Slowly, we're gonna inhale, lift up our right foot off the mat, and then bring it towards the front into Virabhadrasana 1, making sure our back foot is diagonal to our body. Slowly exhale, bring your hands down, bring your leg back, come to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, come to Uddha Mukha Savasana, or upward facing dog, or cobra as well. Exhale, come down to Adho Mukha Savasana, or downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up your leg off the mat and bring it forward to Virabhadrasana 1, making sure your back foot is diagonal to your body. Inhale, bend your front knee. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, bring your leg back, come to Chaturanga Dandasana, lower plank. Inhale, come to Uddha Mukha Savasana, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, come to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. We're gonna stay here for 5 breaths in downward dog. So you can pedal your feet so that way you can extend your back as much as possible. You can look at your knees or the mat. We're gonna take big inhales. We're gonna have 2 more breaths here. And 1. Walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Slowly, we're gonna inhale, extend your legs as much as possible, and come to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, come to standing forward fold, Uttanasana, bringing your head down as closer as you can towards your knees. You can also grab your opposite elbows. Okay, we're going to now bend our knees, bringing our feet right next to each other. Lift up your arms up to the sky. Come to Utkatasana. And exhale to Samastiti. Okay, so you're more than welcome to take a water break or come to Balasana if you need to take a little rest in between the poses. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we're gonna shift ourselves towards, or you can stay looking at the same way. So I'm just gonna shift myself towards this way, so that way you guys can see me. So basically, we're gonna come to a kneeling pose. So you can bring your one knee or leg behind you and do a little lunge. Bring your knee towards the mat and slowly bring the other one behind you. So that way you guys can see I'm gonna do both sides. So first, we're gonna slowly come down and bring our sit bones down onto the mat. And if this feels comfortable for us today, we're going to bring our ankles right next to our body and stay here in hero pose, Virasana. We're gonna keep our chest open, shoulders back, inhaling as deeply as we can so we can open and expand more our chest. And slowly we're going to look forward. You can walk your hands in front of you so that way you can round your back more. I'm gonna move towards the side so you guys can see it. So basically you're gonna round your back, bringing your head closer to your knees or as much as it feels accessible for you today. Slowly walk your hands closer to your body. Bring the hands to your knees, open your chest, and exhale. Okay, now we're gonna move on to our next pose. We can stay here on the same side, so I'm just going to do it like this so you guys can see it. We're gonna inhale, lift up or sit bones off the mat and come to this half kneeling pose. We're gonna bring our foot towards one side and we're gonna make sure it's in a diagonal direction from our body. You can also have it on a 90-degree angle, whatever feels more comfortable for you today, but ideally those two directions feel the best. We're going to now lift up our arms up to the sky and exhale. You're going to shift your body towards the side. You can also slide your hand all the way down and look at your hand, and your arm is almost going to be on a freestyle position, like if you were swimming. Slowly exhale, bringing both hands up to the sky. And we're gonna repeat one more time. We're gonna slide our hand down. Inhaling, we're gonna look over our hand. And slowly exhale, coming back to center. Now we're gonna switch sides. You can move yourself towards the other side of the mat, or if you have enough space, you don't even have to move. Bring your feet out, extend your leg. You're gonna point your foot towards a 90-degree angle or a 45-degree angle, or like diagonal from your body. Inhale, lift up your arms up to the sky and slowly bring your hand down and slide it down through your leg with your exhale or inhale. We're gonna look at our hand, slowly come back to our exhale here. Okay, we're gonna repeat this one more time. Inhale, lift up your arms up to the sky. Slide your left hand down onto your leg and slowly exhale. Look over your hand. I'm gonna inhale and exhale, bringing your hands back up to the sky. We're going to shift our body, or I'm going to shift my body towards the front. You can walk your hands down onto the mat. So now we're into a tabletop position. Inhale, lift up your knees off the mat. Now we're into a downward dog. Extending our back as much as possible. We're gonna slowly walk our feet towards the front of the mat. And take a big inhale and come all the way up to the sky into mountain pose. And exhale to Samastiti. Bringing your feet right next to each other. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center. So now we're going to do a variation of Utkatasana. Inhale, bend your knees, lift up your arms to the sky. So now we're doing chair pose, regular Utkatasana that we were doing. We're gonna bring our arms up to our heart center and slowly we're gonna twist and hook our elbow on the outer side of our left knee. So right now we're doing revolved chair pose, Pita Vita Utkatasana. We're gonna extend our arms if it feels accessible for us today and look at our top hand while we're here. We're gonna make sure our foot or our feet are planted into the mat. Inhaling and exhaling as deeply as we can. And slowly exhaling. Okay. We're gonna bring our hands back to our heart center and come back to our chair pose and slowly exhale down to Samastiti. We're gonna rest a little bit here. You can, move your legs from side to side. Now, we're gonna take a big inhale, bending our knees, lift up your arms up to the sky. We're now in Utkatasana chair pose. Bring your hands to your heart center. We're gonna hook our opposite elbow while twisting our body to our right side. So the elbow is gonna be on the outer side of our right knee. And slowly, if it's accessible for you today, open your arms towards the sides. We're gonna look at our top hand so we can expand more into the pose. We're gonna stay here for 2 more breaths. And one more. Slowly bring your hands to heart center and come back to regular Utkatasana. And exhale to Samastiti. Now that we're in the standing pose, we're gonna come back to Virasana. So we're gonna inhale, come to Tadasana, lifting up our arms to the sky. Exhale, bringing your hands down to Uttanasana. You can walk your hands a little bit forward if you're in the middle of the mat like me. Bring your legs back. Now you're gonna bring your knees down to the mat. We're gonna come to a tabletop position. Slowly, you're going to bring your knees toward the sides of the mat and come to a Balasana, child's pose. Okay. Slowly walk your hands towards the front of the mat. Bring your head down. We're gonna try to open our hips while here in child's pose. Gonna inhale and slowly exhale. We're gonna move our hands towards the side of the mat so we can do extended child's pose, Uttita Balasana. We're gonna open up, walking your hands as farther as you can towards the side. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. Walk your hands back to the center. Now inhale. Let's go towards the left side or your opposite side that you didn't do before. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. We're gonna stay here for 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Walk your hands towards the front of the mat. Now we're gonna come into a tabletop by lifting our hips. Okay. Slowly, we're gonna come into a Chaturanga Dandasana from here. So we're gonna come to a plank position, or you can just keep your knees up in the mat if you would like as well. We're gonna come to Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower ourselves all the way down onto the mat. Bring your hands right next to your chest and slowly extend your arms as much as possible. Coming into a Bhujangasana. Look up to the sky, expanding your back as much as possible. So Bhujangasana is Cobra. We're gonna try to bring our feet as closer as we can. If we can do that, we're trying to expand a little bit more our back. But if it doesn't feel accessible for you today, it's totally fine. You can look from both sides to extend more our back. So the soles of our feet are going to be looking down onto the mat. The top of our feet. Our feet are going to be looking down onto the mat. Correction. Slowly, you're gonna come to a downward facing dog. So that way we can give our back a little break. We're gonna pedal our feet, making sure the heels of our foot. We're gonna try to bring them a little bit closer to the mat. They don't have to necessarily be touching the mat, but it's good to stretch your calves and that back part of your legs. Slowly, we're gonna bring our knees down onto the mat. Lift up your hands. And now we're gonna come to a beginner's back bend. Okay, so we can do this one with props or without props. So I'm gonna get this really quick. So we're gonna do Strasana. So if you have blocks or any sort of props available at home, feel free to use them because it can also help you a lot to deepen more your pose or help you get there little by little. We're gonna start by bringing our hands behind our hips, opening our chest, bringing our elbows as close as possible as they can be. Inhale, open up your chest, bring your hips towards the front. And bring your head back. See if you can bring your hands down onto the blocks so this is more accessible for you today. If not, just feel free to just go for the full Ustrasana camel pose by grabbing your ankles and extending your chest and back as much as possible. You can look behind you or down to the floor. We're gonna inhale. We're gonna stay here for 3 more breaths and slowly exhale. We have 2 more. And then we have our last breath. Inhale and exhale as deeply as you can. Slowly we're going to lift up from this pose. So if you have the blocks, we're gonna slowly take our hands off of them, or in this case, your ankles as well, if we're doing it like me. You're gonna lift up and grab your hips and slowly lift up, coming back to a neutral position. Now we're gonna come to our final back bend. Basically, we're gonna come to a tabletop position, bringing our hands right in front of our body. We're gonna cross our legs right behind us and slowly sit down if this feels accessible for us today. We're gonna come to a Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Extend your legs right in front of your body. And you can adjust yourself so that way you have enough space on your mat. Bring your elbows down onto the mat and slowly roll your back all the way down. So now we're gonna do bridge pose or Setu Bandhasana. We can also use blocks. So the way we can do this, so depends on how your body feels. You can do different heights. So the lower one is this one, or no, actually the lower one is this one, and then we can do also this one, and then this one if we have this type of blocks available for us to use. So we're going to start by bringing our feet towards the outer side of the mat, placing our hands facing down towards the mat as well. Inhale, we're gonna lift up our hips towards the sky and pressing our shoulders down onto the mat. So basically, our feet, hands, and shoulders are giving us support right now. We're gonna now see if we can grab the block and bring it to the level that feels more comfortable for us today. So you can try the medium height or even the highest, and place it behind your hips and slowly rest here, bringing your hands all the way down onto the mat. So this is a supported Setu Bandhasana with the block. It helps us feel like a little bit of pressure on our hips or sit bones, like here in the back. We're gonna bring our hands or our feet closer to our hands and opening our chest as much as possible while keeping this part on top of the block or sit bones. So if we want to do the unsupported version, we can take off this block. We're gonna start all over again, so slowly bring your back down. So we're gonna slowly start over by bringing our feet towards the outer side of the mat. Lift up your hips off the ground, bringing your hands down and bringing the palm of your hands directly towards the mat. Inhale, lift up your hips, bringing your shoulders down as much as possible. You're going to be looking up to the sky or directly at your chest, like in front of you here. Your hands, you can bring them right under your body and interlace your fingers, so that way you can open more your shoulders and chest and back. We're gonna stay here for 5 big breaths, but if you feel that you need to go back down, it's totally okay. Everybody is different and it's your own practice. So we're gonna have 4 more breaths here. Inhale as deeply as you can. Slowly exhale. And inhale once again. And exhale, emptying out all of our lungs. We have 1 more breath. And slowly coming back down. We're gonna release our fingers, bringing our hands towards the sides. So now we're going to basically extend our legs right in front of us. And you can keep your hands right next to your body. We're gonna do Shavasana. Well, I do this sound therapy or meditation or healing. If you don't want to be in Shavasana, you can always bring your body towards your right side and push your elbow so you can come to a seated position. You can keep your eyes open or closed. We're gonna begin by taking a big inhale from our nose, filling up all our lungs. Slowly exhale. Once again, inhale. Exhale, releasing all the air from your lungs. Inhale once again. Exhale as deeply as you can. Inhale once again. Exhale as deeply as you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale as deeply as you can. Inhale once again. Exhale as deeply as you can. Emptying out all your lungs. Inhale as deeply as you can. Exhale as deeply as you can. Emptying out all your lungs. Inhale as deeply as you can. Exhale, emptying out all your lungs. Inhale as deeply as you can. Exhale, emptying out all your lungs. Inhale as deeply as you can. Exhale. exhale as deeply as you can. We're gonna inhale as deeply as we can, filling up all of our lungs slowly as possible. And we're gonna empty out all of our lungs with a big exhale. Once again, inhale as deeply as you can. And slowly exhale, emptying out your lungs. Okay, so if you have your eyes closed, you can slowly open them now. You can start moving your hands, moving your legs, so you can slowly wake up your body. We're going to uh, come to a seated position. So if you're laying down, we're going to move your body towards your right side and push your elbow, so that way you can make sure in Sukhasana. We're gonna have our legs crossed or back straight, shoulders back, just feeling comfortable. We're gonna now begin our practice, end our practice with, just by a little gratitude, our closing uh, breath work. So we're gonna begin by taking our hands towards our heart center. We're gonna close our eyes and take a big inhale and slowly exhale. And if you would like to repeat with me, you can say namaste. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for you being here. Um, I really have a lot of gratitude for everyone that takes their time to like and see and comment my videos. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great day. And I will see you in the next one.